Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Black Sesame, your one-stop shop for all things Black in Taiwan. Today I have my lovely girl Kia joining me, hailing from South Africa. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate your time.
I'm so excited for this episode.
Yes, what a journey we've been on. We tried to go into our space. Couldn't get the lock open. It's fine, and now it's raining. So if you ever move to Taiwan, please know that it rains quite a bit. But You know what? It's okay. We're all smiles today. So happy Sunday again. Thank you for joining me. How's it going?
I'm good.
Good.
That's good.
Good.
How are you
Good.
doing?
I'm good. You know, it's raining. It's cloudy, but you know, we're all good.
Yeah.
Blessed.
That's great.
Yeah. So again, thank you for agreeing to be my guest today. And I've already mentioned that you're from South Africa. Now, how long have you been living in Taiwan?
I've been living in Taiwan for 3 years now, and it's been a journey, and it's really been exciting. It's really nice, and I actually don't think that I'd choose any other place to study.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
so you're a student.
Yeah, I'm a student.
Okay, and what are you studying?
I'm studying international business and trade at
Oh, very nice. Now, how did you choose Taiwan for a place to study?
Well, when I was in high school, I went to a predominantly Chinese high school where we learned about like Chinese culture.
Oh, okay.
And we learned the language. And my Chinese teacher was just like, yeah, you should just move to Taiwan and you should study in Taiwan because my Chinese was apparently good.
Okay.
Yikes.
Good.
Yikes. It got really bad once I moved here.
Okay.
But yeah, so I just decided to take the opportunity, and then I got the scholarship for my school, and yeah, I ended up here.
Okay, great. And you said you're from South Africa, but you lived in
Morocco,
for a little bit.
Growing
Okay.
up, yeah, my dad was a diplomat, and we moved around. We moved to Morocco, and it was really a nice experience because it like kind of helped me. I think in hindsight, that was like a really good experience for me as a child to just explore and be around like different cultures and nationalities, because then I could just move here and I wouldn't feel it as much, and I wouldn't feel the cultural shock. I'd rather be really enticed to learn more about it.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. So since you already kind of knew the language before you came, and you'd already moved around a bit as a kid, did you feel any culture shock when you moved here?
Not really,
Okay.
but a little bit, especially with like interactions with people here, and like the environment is completely different to my country. Like Taiwan is like open 24/7. Like there's always something open, like 7-Eleven and everything. But back home, things usually close around like 8.
Oh,
So,
okay, really? Okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
here it's just so convenient, and it's like consistently convenient, but it's also just really fast paced in Taiwan.
I think so.
I think maybe Taipei is the proper word.
Taipei, okay. okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting because a lot of my American friends and I, we always complain, oh my gosh, you know, Taiwanese people, they're walking really slowly, or everything is so, not that things are slow, but it's like this is a city, but it doesn't always feel like a city because I'm from New York, so I went to the city a lot as a kid, so being there, it's like, okay, you walk fast, you do things fast, everyone goes in a rush, in a hurry, and here, for me, things seem a little bit slower. So for your perspective, it's fast, for me, it's slow.
Yeah, for
Okay,
you it's
gotcha.
slow. Like for me, it's really, really fast. I
It's
kind of
really
get
fast.
tired.
Okay. And so and then when do you finish your studies? You graduate next year?
Yes, I graduate next year.
Okay, nice. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Okay.
Extremely excited, but
Okay.
I'm gonna continue probably for another 2 years. I'm gonna do my master's, but I'm gonna take a gap because I really just need to figure out exactly what I want to do. I just don't want to rush into going into my master's and just choosing any university and any program. So,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. And are you gonna you're gonna do your master's here in Taiwan or somewhere else? you
Well,
think?
I think I've been thinking about Canada, but I think Taiwan is also like a good place. But I'm looking into Canada, but I think like if Canada doesn't work out, Taiwan would be my first
Okay.
option.
All right, great. And so what's your general, so you've been here for 3 years, so what's your general sense of the country? Do you like living here? Do you hate it? Are you tired of it? Is this like your lifelong home? How do you really feel about it?
I feel like I'm slowly getting to the point where I'm getting tired of it.
Okay.
Everything is just repetitive here. You wake up, you go to work, go to school, come back home, have your dinner, and then on the weekends, it's probably just like going to like the same old places, just being in the same places because it's so small.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think like I'm someone that really just likes a lot of change. I can't stay in one place. So it's just yeah. There's a lot to do, but it's also just like it feels really repetitive. And especially like with the food. Oh my gosh.
Right. Okay. That was something that I didn't get to ask anyone else who's been on the show yet. So what do you think about Taiwanese food?
I mean,
how do you feel about it?
I'm honestly I've actually went home. In 2021, I actually went home and I actually did miss some of the Taiwanese food. But I mean, if I could have my home food, I think I would be happier. But Taiwanese food is okay.
Yeah, it's okay, right?
It's
Like
okay.
on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rank it?
I would rank it at a 7.
A 7. Okay, that's nice. I would rank it at around a 6.
I know, because there's just different flavors and
the flavors are different. The way they cook the food is a little bit different.
yeah,
so
and it's just dulled down a lot, like spices and
it's not. To me, a lot of the food here is really spicy, and even if something smells really good, when I taste it, I'm like, oh, this tastes like everything else that I've already eaten.
yeah.
Okay. And
No
do you?
new flavors.
Yeah. And do you have a favorite Taiwanese food, like dumplings or rice or sticky tofu or beef noodle?
I would think it's not a food.
Okay.
I have an addiction to like bubble milk tea.
The tea. Okay, the tea.
Yeah, but like
Okay.
not any like regular tea. Like there's green milk tea. Oh, green tea bubble milk tea.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like green tea but with milk and bubbles. And
Okay.
it's really really good.
Okay. Okay, so you like the tea. Okay, good. That's good. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I love everything about Taiwan, but it's like the size of the apartments for me, and then the food and the tea. I'm more of a coffee girl. I like my morning latte, my cappuccino, my americano. I love like my pizzas, my pastas, my burgers, like my like the Western food. Yeah. Even certain like African food, Caribbean food. You know, I prefer the palates of Eastern and Western people are just different.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I want to just touch on the size of the apartments. Like
Small, right? They're
What?
small. Yeah.
What?
They're really small.
I and it's so expensive, especially closer to in the city.
In the
It's
city.
so expensive.
Yeah.
And there's no gardens. I mean, like personally, I grew up with like a house with a garden. And, like
Okay.
you could go outside and just like paint or
Yeah.
do something. But here it's like you have to go to a park, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
you're
Right,
sharing
right.
space. It's not fun.
Yeah, you're sharing a lot of space, and Taipei is very like Taiwan is a small country, but Taipei City is very densely populated. So it's really quite a small city, but I think it feels bigger sometimes because there's so many people. And yeah, the more like right now we're in this is Dan district, I believe. This is one of the most expensive districts to live in Taipei City. Tons of beautiful cafes, like the one that we're borrowing right now. But yeah, the rent, the closer you get to the more central districts, the more expensive it gets. And do you live in Taipei or New Taipei?
I live in New Taipei. I live in
Danshui.
Danshui.
Right, Danshui, yeah. Okay.
So it's like really far. It took me like an hour and a half to get here.
Yeah.
But I mean, I prefer traveling that distance than having like a really small cramped apartment.
Right. So is your apartment in Gemstown, is it big?
It's
quite spacious.
I feel like it's small, but like it's good enough for me. It has a kitchen. It has like a study desk. It has my bed. Like my bathroom is like quite huge, and like have like a little area in the middle where I could just do some stuff like yoga and stuff. So yeah.
So it works for you. That's good. Yeah. Like every time I think about, oh, should I, move closer to Taipei? Should I get a job here? I'm thinking, you know what? With the cost, how much it costs in rent to live here, I might as well just stay where I am and just pay less. So I get it. Even me, I live in Xinchuang in New Taipei, so that's nowhere near here really. But you know what? The rent is lower. It's quiet, and I do agree about there's not a lot. You have to go to a park to find a green space. Because even me, I grew up in the suburbs with front yard, backyard. My school had lots of space, a playground, and here it is very different living in the city.
You just constantly feel like you're crowded with like a lot of people. And I just like it.
You like your space, yeah. Okay. And then, as you know, one of the reasons why I'm, starting this platform and doing these episodes is to give information to anyone who thinks they might want to visit or really specifically move to Taiwan. So, as a Black woman, how do you feel living here?
Okay, living in Taiwan is just, as a Black woman, I think I don't experience what most of my other friends experience because, like, I think, like, there is a certain, well, not a certain level, there is, like, colorism, especially in Taiwan. Like, I've had experiences where I'm sitting next to a friend of a darker skin tone, and everyone's just like, oh, where are you from? And they ask me, I'm like, oh, I'm South African, and they'd be like, oh, really? Like, you're not as dark as Africans should be, and I'm just like, wait, what?
Right, like, what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? And I think I've had, like, friends have different experiences, and I've actually had, like, weird experiences, like, on the MRT. Like, one time this person was telling me, like, you should go back to your home country in Chinese.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, get out of my country. And I've had that happen to me on the bus and the MRT, and I'm just like, I don't pay really any mind, but it's like, it kind of hurts. But when that situation happened, I was with a couple of my Asian friends, and they were just like, oh my gosh, this is like, wow.
It was like shocking for them to see
and I was just
that.
Like, okay, well, this is kind of normal.
Right, normal for us, right, exactly.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that, it's not everybody, it's just like certain occasions, but there are different occasions where everyone's just actually so interested in learning about you, and like they appreciate you, but like sometimes they appreciate you a little too much, and they're like trying to touch your hair. Have you had your braids touched before?
I have. I was working at it was a school event, and it was a graduation, kindy graduation, and I was standing there talking to someone, and I had a maybe an auntie or a grandma like kind of like touch my hair, and I kind of had to be like, ooh. And she's like, oh, it's very beautiful. I said, oh yeah, thank you. I know, but it's like, girl, don't touch it. You know? Yeah.
I had to actually be like dodge a hand, and this woman was coming up to my one friend, and she has locks, like beautiful locks. And she was like, oh, and I was like, don't touch. Like, I told her, he's like, don't touch, she's gonna get offended.
Right.
So, like, I just stopped her before anything could happen.
Right. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Just to make sure my friends can.
That's good, yeah. And so, so you can speak Chinese, right? Are you fluent or conversational? Conversational.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's better than me. So I love to see us, especially being able to, converse with the people, and especially when it comes to our bodies and our hair and our physical space. It's important that we know how to speak up for ourselves, so we're not violated. And I find that people don't mean to be rude, they don't mean to violate, but sometimes they don't realize how their actions can feel that way, you know?
Like affect us like later on.
Yeah. And have you ever had anyone try to like take a picture of you like without your knowledge, or has anyone ever asked you for a photo?
I haven't had anyone ask me, but I've seen people take pictures of me.
Okay, and what's your reaction with that?
I just like stare at them, like I give them like have the evil eyes. I tell my little kids they're the evil eyes.
Yeah.
And I just look at them and I just stare at them until they can't they realize that they're doing something wrong, and then they just like never mind, and I'm like exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, because I told you before, like being stared at, maybe it's not as bad as someone trying to with a photo, staring. It's not as bad as someone trying to touch you, but it still is pretty strange, And even with the photo thing, when you think about it, like if you're asking for a photo, or if you're taking a picture of someone, what's your intention? What are you gonna do with it?
I feel like in Taiwan it's just everybody just takes pictures of every little thing. Like if the MRT is full, they're just gonna take a picture of how full the MRT is, and they just send it probably to their family members and just be like, oh yeah, look at this. This is what I'm experiencing right now. And I feel like a lot of Black people have been in Taiwan for so long, and I think I know it's too much to ask for, but I feel like it's just common decency. Like if you imagine I come up to everybody and I'm just like, can I take a picture with you? It's just, would you want that to happen to me?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Like how do you sometimes you have to, they need to think of coming from the other person's perspective, right? Yeah. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention that I didn't really get to talk about before was the beauty standard here. So last year, right, last year my friends and I, we did a photo shoot kind of showcasing Black beauty in Taiwan. And you were one of the like makeup artist like assistants, right? And so it meant a lot to us and to me to having our photographer was a Black man, our MUAs were all Black women, all the models are Black women of different body types, shapes, sizes, and skin tones, right? And the reason why we did it, like I mentioned before, was to just make sure that we got us, and to know that whatever beauty standard that might be enforced here isn't going to, we're going to try to fight it off, so has the beauty standard here kind of like affected you in any way, or are you just like good?
I think it's actually made me appreciate myself more.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, so like whenever I see like, especially with my body type, like before back home I used to be like, oh my gosh, I'm like so fat. Look, I'm not fat, but like I'm not like perfectly shaped, because Africans, like they got like big bums, they got like really nice shape.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
especially the African girls.
Yeah,
I have a few friends who it's like
it's
it's like Coke bottle frame.
Yeah, it's just like effortless. And I was just like, okay, back home it was just much harder, because I'd always just be like, I used to be a gym rat when I was back home. Okay. So I'd always be exercising constantly every like single day just to like keep my shape. And like now I'm just like, girl, you look good. Like,
there you go.
Like,
exactly.
Don't worry. Like,
And
like I get a lot of stares, especially when I'm in like crop tops or like short skirts or like shorts, and everyone just like looks at me like weird, and I'm just like, oh, okay, like go ahead and look.
Mm-hmm.
Like
go ahead and look. Right, exactly. Like I know what I look like, and I look good, so you're welcome. Yeah, exactly.
I'm giving you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I feel like we talked about that a little bit before, where it's like a lot of I think we feel like the Taiwanese girls here, they dress pretty conservatively. At least to me, it's conservative because in the U.S. or just in the West in general, I think we're just a little bit more free and open, like with our bodies, but also with our sense of style. Especially here in the summertime when it's like deadly hot, it's humid for like 3-4 months nonstop. Like I can't wear sleeves or I'll sweat. I can't really wear a bra. I'm gonna, it's like everything is, I need to take, shower, it's a constant shower, that's a lot. So for me, when I moved here, I'm like, oh my God, it's the middle of July. I'm wearing like a crop top and shorts and sandals, and these girls are in like long sleeve shirts, jeans. I'm like, whoa, and that's fine if that's what they're comfortable in. But it's like, I feel like they will look at us harder, one, because of our skin color, but also because of what we're wearing as well. So in the summer especially, it's like a double hit for us because, we're constantly being stared at anyway, but then when we show our bodies more, it's more of an issue. Yeah.
I think like being here, it's just like, you know what, you just have to like accept the way that you look, because like you're going to get stared, unfortunately, but you just need to know that, you know what, the reason why they're looking at you is because like you're different and it's not what they're usually seeing. And that's like really, it's kind of like, for me, it's like, okay, I have to accept this, but I'm also just like, you know what, that's fine with me, because like I've accepted that, we all look so different, and we actually like, I've seen so many just people feel so uncomfortable with their looks here in this country. So it's just like, don't worry about how you look, especially during summer. Like take care of yourself. Don't overheat yourself. And like jackets in July, I was just like, I've seen so many people with jackets, and I'm just like,
I'll never. And the other part that I forgot about was maybe, like you said, with the colors, and maybe they don't want to get darker. A lot of them don't really like dark skin, so they will wear like long sleeves and jackets and longer clothes in the summer. That maybe it keeps them cool, or maybe they're really hot. I have no idea, but they don't want to get darker. That's another thing too.
I think they have cooling technology like clothes.
Yeah, they do.
So
Yeah.
I'm just like, I think it's that because they don't want to get darker.
Yeah, I think
They
that's
really
what it is. So
don't.
they were probably cool in the clothes, but they don't want their skin to be darker. So, you know, it's interesting. It is interesting.
Like, I get excited for sunburn because I'm just like, yes, I can get darker.
Yeah, same.
And I can
Yeah.
get very brown. And like, for me, because like once I get into winter, my skin, oof, I could actually buy foundation in Taiwan. Like,
Really?
yeah.
Oh,
it
right,
gets
right.
so bad, and I'm just
Okay.
like, no, I just don't want that. And I've experienced colorism within like the Black community.
Okay, I'm glad you're bringing it up. That was going to be my next question. How do you feel about the Black community? But go ahead with your colorism point.
Yeah, like I've experienced actual like colorism. Like sometimes I've been told like I'm not Black enough
Really? By Black people here?
by Black people, and I was just
Okay.
like, that really hurt me, and like it kind of like because I had like back home, I'm a mixture of two races, so I'm a mixture of Black and colored. We have colored back home.
Oh, right, in South Africa. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, gotcha,
so-
gotcha.
So colored is just like mixture of like the Dutch when the Dutch colonized South Africa.
We're outside, it's okay.
So yeah, with the colorism in South Africa, it's just like the Khoisan people mixed with the Dutch, and then they have the colored people, and like my mom looks like a white woman. She has
Right.
straight hair,
Okay.
but she's colored.
Okay.
So it's just like back home, I didn't really know what I was, and I have like a really specific Black name. My full name is Yamkhetswe.
Oh, wow. Oh, beautiful.
Thank you. It means you're welcome. And like my mom gave birth to me after she got married to my dad. So it was
Okay.
like welcome to the family.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
nice. Okay.
So having that name, it's just like, okay, I had a lot of identity crisis growing up. Even like here, it's like I expected it to be different because like we're just like used to, we're more aware of the different shades in the African diaspora, and like being told that I'm not Black enough was just like one of them that just like was a slap in the face to like everything I was like moving
already
forward to.
experiencing it, yeah, and trying to heal from.
Yeah.
Okay. Was this person, were they also South African?
No.
Or, okay.
From like Caribbean.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, and that's the thing that I also wanted to talk about is because before you moved here, were you aware of the Black community at all, or did you not really know anything about it?
In Taiwan.
Yeah, in Taiwan.
No, I did not know anything about it.
Okay.
I just came here like
You kind of came in
Oh,
blind,
once ago, yeah.
like me. Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah. I think that for a lot of Black people, well, maybe it depends on where you're from. Because Caribbeans, I think they come here knowing because they have there's a community, and a lot of them, you know, their countries, like you said, have good relations with Taiwan. But if you're like American, if you're Canadian, if you're Black European, or maybe if you're a certain Black African, maybe you don't know until you come here. So do you think that, and I think, well, obviously within the Black community we have, Black North Americans,
Yeah.
some Black Europeans, Black Africans, and then Black Caribbeans.
Yeah.
So do you feel like the Black community with all of us together do you think it's quite strong? Do you think is it like almost like a, maybe not a I wouldn't say family, but do you think like the bonds are strong here?
I feel like it's really competitive.
Competitive, okay.
Yeah, I just think it's a really competitive area, and like it does feel like a family at some point, but it feels like there are some like nitpicking at like different situations in like different areas that does not need the nitpicking. Like you don't need to like comment on certain things, or you don't need to act this way towards someone else. And I mean, I know there's like a significant difference in like the way like certain like people in the diaspora act, like there's different communities in the diaspora act, and it's just like, okay, we're like trying to like learn from each other, but like in that way we actually don't learn from each other. We're just like, oh, this community is like this, or this community is like that, and it's just like, well, like we should just learn about it and not like talk about it negatively, or like,
Learn from each other in a way. I agree, because I was a couple weeks ago I was telling someone that I never really listened to Afro beats until I moved here. And I'm thinking, who would have thought that I would have been on Afrobeat time in Taiwan? Like, but there's so many, you hang out with enough, Nigerians, Africans, whatever. And then, you start to, you pick up certain things. I think that's beautiful. I love Afrobeat now.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I knew Burna Boy, I knew Wizkid, but now I know all these other artists. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm learning from people who look like me, but culturally we're different. But that's nice.
Yeah, it's really
Okay.
nice. But I really have because my best friend is from the Caribbean, so I'm just like, I've kind of enthralled myself into the Caribbean community with like the music. I really do love soca and like dancehall.
Yeah.
And I just like dancing to it, but I also like Afrobeats because like Afrobeats is different from like South African like music.
It's different. Again, before I moved here, I didn't know anything about South African music. I don't know what is it? It's
Amapiano.
Amapiano. Wow, that thing is beautiful.
I know.
never. Did you go to Mama Africa this year?
No, I did not. But
Oh,
I was
man.
I was there, but I arrived really late.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because for those of you who don't know, every year there's something called Mama Africa, and it's basically a festival celebrating mainly African and Caribbean cultures from across the diaspora. There's music, there's African and Caribbean food, there's dancing, and Mr. Sunshine. There's Mr. Sunshine. He is a shout out to you, Mr. Sunshine. He's a South African DJ that I also want to get to talk to, and he was playing Amapiano, and my South African friends, I've never seen them move like that.
Yeah.
It was insane. It was beautiful.
It's like
Wow.
you have to actually like spend time learning how to dance like that. It's not like just like
can't just-
one day. Like It
Wow.
like everybody practices to dance like that, and
I
it's
can
so
tell.
beautiful. But like it's so difficult. I do not know how to do any of the dances.
It looks tricky. I was like, yo, the South African, they were getting their life. I was like, yo, they're having a ball. And I loved it because even though it's not my culture, I'm like, I still love to see other people enjoying their culture in a place that's not their home.
Yeah,
You know?
I think like that's
Oh.
why it's just like so beautiful. Like when they have like those festivals on
Yeah.
Africa and everything, it's really nice to have that space of community for just like a little bit.
Just for a little bit,
Yeah. And like previously, like in I think I don't know, I can't remember 2020. Remember when it was the time of the George Floyd murder?
Yes, I remember that. Yes,
and
yes,
they
yes.
had like this big like event.
That rally, right?
Yes,
The Black Lives Matter rally.
and that was really, really beautiful. Like it was really nice place to feel like safe and being like basically helped by your community and just like mourning everything together. And like they had the conversations, the community conversations, and it was just really nice to hear like different aspects and meet so many different people.
Yes, I enjoyed that as well.
Yeah.
And did you go to? So they had the rally, then they had the that they had like a post rally conversation at Cafe Delita.
No, I did not.
Okay.
I went there to get a shirt, and then I just like left because I had to go and do something.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But still, even at that post conversation, the post rally conversation, it was nice because they had a couple of microphones going around and people could kind of stand up and voice how they really felt about really anything racial or whatever it might be. You had some indigenous Taiwanese who were there that spoke about how they're kind of oppressed being here. So for those who don't know, Taiwan does have an indigenous community, just like a lot of other countries do. Don't be fooled. This is, Asia is a different place for us, but there is an indigenous community here that also was, oppressed and marginalized as well. And before I went to that rally, I didn't really know anything about indigenous Taiwanese people. And at the rally, I remember very vividly, I'd only been here for maybe 4 months, and there was a black girl, I think she was Jamaican, and she was a black girl, she's dark skinned, she's thick, she had a thick Jamaican accent. And I remember she got the microphone and she stood up and she said that she'd been in Taiwan for 2 years. She was a student and she felt like she was like a monkey in a zoo, she said, because she said that people would always like stare at her here or like make fun of her, laugh, make comments. They would throw, racial epithets her way. And she said she couldn't wait to leave and finish studying so she could, get out of here and go home or do something else. And when she said that, I was shocked because at only maybe 4 or 5 months in, I hadn't experienced anything close to that. So it made me so sad to know that someone who, looks different from me, but similar enough to me, could have such a negative experience. And I was on like cloud nine for the first 4 months. So I think it's important that we talk about, our different experiences as a shared community. And then, so we're filming outside today. And someone just came. I think it's fine. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's actually being quiet, so I think
Being quiet. So see another. If I could spin the camera, I'd spin the camera. Another example of Taiwanese like hospitality and kindness. These people are so nice. The one thing I will say, Taiwan is full of very nice people. We were trying to go to our filming location. We couldn't open the lock. And like Kia could, she can speak Chinese, so she was like, "Oh, your help." And the man tried to help him, so I can't. I said, "Oh, it's fine." So the people are very, very nice. So
yeah, and he looked like he felt really
he
sad
felt
for
so
us.
sad. He's like, "Look at these poor girls. I can't help them."
He can't help us. Oh, he was so sweet.
Very sweet, very sweet. So yeah, we're kind of in somewhere where we're not really like supposed to be, but yeah, it's fine. But yeah, so and then what about like within the African specific community? Because as a Black American, I'm a bit of an outsider to that. So is the like as a South African woman, do you feel like you feel like bonds and ties to other South African people here or other African people in general, or is there a bit of a disconnect?
I feel like there's a bit of a disconnect, mainly because I don't really speak any of like South African languages except for like Afrikaans, and that is like for the colored people, mostly colored people, and the white people in South Africa speak that language.
Okay.
So I learned it because I grew up mostly with my grandma, so I'd always have to she'd always just speak to me in Afrikaans, and my mom and I can understand my dad's language, but like when I speak it, people are just like, "Oh my gosh, you sound so white," so I just like refrain from it.
Okay, you get the "you sound so white" comment.
Yeah,
Okay.
you sound so white.
Okay, which honestly, as a black person with I think a fairly like neutral accent, I'll say, I think we've all gotten that. Even me, the way that I speak, growing up as a little black girl, only black girl in a lot of my classes in elementary school. "Oh, you sound so white." Okay, thank you, Stacey. Okay. What are we supposed to do with that?
I mean, it's the environment that we grew up in, like the energy in the environment. Like, I kind of wish my parents did more to teach me the language. I only learned my mom's language because I had to do it in high school.
Ah, okay.
And I wasn't actually supposed to be doing it because I had come back too late. But then they're just like, "You need to go and learn this language." So I was like, okay, I knew the basics and everything. But with my dad's language, whew, it's really intense.
Intense, okay.
Yeah.
And what part of South Africa are you from?
I'm from Pretoria.
Pretoria. Oh, that's not the capital, is it? No.
It is the capital.
It is.
South Africa has 3 capitals.
Does
Fun
it?
fact, yes.
Wow, look at me go. So Pretoria and is it Cape Town?
Cape Town, yeah, and Bloemfontein.
Oh, I was going to say Johannesburg.
No,
So
Johannesburg is
Bloemfontein.
actually not a capital.
Wow, so 3 capitals.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. I didn't know that.
It's mostly because of the way we had a population before.
Right.
So a lot of people just decided to make the different capitals. So Bloemfontein is the capital. I think of where the ANC headquarters were. So it's giving homage to the fight for freedom in South Africa.
Okay.
And the Cape Town is the more the, how do you say this? Where all the laws are passed. Judicial. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Judicial capital, and Pretoria is just the capital.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really dope. Okay. Yeah, because I know that I think it's any country where depending on where you're from, the language you speak and your accent is a little bit different. Okay, gotcha.
And
Okay.
I can speak in my South African accent, but it has to be
Forced out of you, maybe.
Yeah.
So when you go home, you kind of revert back to it.
Yeah,
But here it's more
very,
neutral. Okay, gotcha. Okay. So then your overall feeling of the Black community is that it's nice to have,
Yeah.
but you can't always rely upon it too much, right? Just like anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. So yeah, just with anywhere, our community or with anything, we have ups and downs, but it's nice to,
It's nice to have.
To have, yeah, exactly. And you're a teacher,
Yeah, I'm
right?
a teacher.
Oh, but you're a full-time student or part-time student?
I'm a full-time student
Full-time
and then a part-time teacher.
You're a part-time teacher.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you enjoy teaching? So far, you like it? And how old are your students?
They're really the range. I've had like I teach 2-year-olds until like 7th graders.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
a really
it's
big range.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's really nice because like I love teaching the young kids. You just get to like play and just have fun, and like the older kids you can like make some jokes and like just talk about like current pop culture and like be like, oh yeah, like let's listen to like some K-pop, let's dance to some K-pop for the beginning of class.
Yeah.
But I also do like majority of like to incorporate and just like to make the kids like realize that Black people are like there and like it's such a normal thing for us. Like
Right.
it should be normalized to be
Right.
Black in Taiwan. It's like every time I do like my hair, like if I draw a cartoon, I draw like a cartoon with puffy hair.
Oh great. Okay.
And like I always make my slides. When I make my slides, I use like black.
Like Black people.
Black
Yeah.
people
Okay.
for like the examples
The
and
examples,
stuff. So
yeah.
they just like be like, okay, like this is like normal.
Yeah.
It's not strange. Or,
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. See, I do the same thing. And one of my other friends that when she teaches, she does, when it comes to making PowerPoints with people, she'll do a diverse. She'll do like, okay, white, Black, Asian, Latino, Muslim with hijab. Like, she'll make it diverse so they can see all these different people. And I think that's good. Anytime I have to show them an example of like a little girl speaking or a little boy doing this, I try to choose, especially when we were teaching online last year. Woo! My shit was black. Everything was black. I was like, no, here's a black one, give me a TED Talk. When I showed the American national anthem, I showed them Beyonce
Oh
singing at
yeah.
Obama's inauguration, and it was in 2012. I black it up, and they don't really. They just say, oh, they just look. They say, oh wow, they don't really say, oh why. Sometimes they say, oh why this, why that. But usually it's like, oh wow, she's so beautiful. Or, oh wow. Or I'll show them. I'll say, oh, this is Oprah Winfrey. She's very black and she's rich. I try to put that in their minds, like, whatever, because I don't know what's being said at home. I don't know what their grandparents are saying, aunties, uncles, parents, whatever. So, especially when it comes to Africans, right? If God forbid, if I was African, they say, oh, but my mom said Africans, they live in, there's all types of stupid shit out there about African people, the way that they live. So,
I've had that so many times.
oh, really? Someone was
like,
something
oh my
that.
gosh, like, I was like, oh, I'm from South Africa. Like, I always say, like, I'm from Africa and everything. And this one kid came to me, she's like, my mommy said African water is dirty water, so they can't drink it. And I was like, oh, but in my country, if you want to drink the tap water, it's perfectly fine.
Right.
And I was just like, and she's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And she like kind of felt like a little bit shamed.
Yeah, right. You shut her down with the facts.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I was just like, it was like, oh. But I've had a lot of friends tell me like, if they have never met any of the Africans that they've met in Taiwan, they would still believe that ideology that, that Africa was just like walking to like the village and like getting your stuff and like water from the
river and like hunting lions and see, this is why representation is so important.
Yeah.
Like, and I think as teachers, whether it be full-time or part-time, it's important to throw in your little educational tidbits as subtly as you can, so they can learn something outside of just the English part.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then, do you have any advice for a Black woman who's wanting to either move to Taiwan, whether it be for work or even just for education, because you're a full-time student? So any advice for Black women who want to move here for work or for university?
Prepare to get stared at.
Okay.
Prepare yourself for like maybe just feeling like, oof, I might not be in the right place. But just know that the reason you came here is because you know that this was the right place and the right choice for you. So just like affirm yourself and just say, you know what, I came here for a purpose and I'm gonna fulfill the purpose, and if I don't feel comfortable afterwards, I could just leave and just move to a different place.
Right. Yeah. I think that was the thing. And when you moved here, did anyone say, "Oh, are you sure? What if it doesn't work? What if you don't like it?" Did anyone kind of question your decision before you moved?
Not really. My parents were really supportive, and also like I knew that I was going to move to Taiwan from like when I was like 15. I
Okay.
told myself that I'm moving to Taiwan when I finish high school. I'm not gonna apply to any universities in South Africa.
Okay.
I'm just gonna apply to Taiwan and like I'm moving here.
Okay.
Because like I like traveling and I like learning more. So it's just that's why I just decided, you know what, like I'm not gonna ever be hesitant. I'm just gonna go through it.
Go do it. Okay, that's good. I think it helps when you have a support system behind you.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Do you have what's your favorite thing about Taiwan? Anything that you really particularly love?
My favorite thing about Taiwan. I would say the convenience, but I would also say like them having so much like access to nature.
Yeah. Right. You were just in yes, you were just in Genting.
Yeah.
I saw.
Yeah.
Is it great?
I
Was it
love
great?
it. I loved it.
It
I
was so
really
nice
loved
and
it.
hot and sunny.
It was so hot and sunny. It was
Yeah.
really just a really good day.
Yeah.
I was like, we went hiking. I did not know we were going to go to the national park, so I'm here in my dress and my Crocs, thinking that I'm just gonna go to the beach.
I was like, oh, look cute, but she's on the mountain. I was like, what's she doing?
I did not know. It was so unplanned. Like,
Yeah.
I just had to go with the flow.
Yeah.
But it was really fun. I got a little like tired and hot, and it was just like, I wish I wore pants. But it was okay. I really had a great time. I think it was my second time in Genting, so it was like, it was just like, okay, this is just a different part that I have not seen yet. So
Right,
it was really
okay.
nice. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it is great nature. That's whether you like beaches or mountains or hiking, surfing, or the city life. I think it's really easy to access those things. Because Taiwan is so small, so it doesn't take too much to get to those places. And then I guess my real final question, since it is raining now, it's October, right? I've got my braids, you got your natural hair. Any natural hair care advice for the girls? For her who want to move to
Have
Taiwan.
braids all the time.
Have
Because
braids all
the
the time.
humidity. I just took out my braids. I had braids,
She
everything.
did. Yes, she did.
I took them out and it's really shrunk so much, and I'm just like, okay,
Yes, this weather is really something, right?
it's really something.
It's
Like
really
it's really difficult to be in this place with natural hair.
Yeah, it
But
is.
we
It
have
is.
so much support, lots of salons,
Yes.
and we could get our hair done really quickly.
Yeah, we do. And then the next few episodes, I want to bring on some Black business owners who deal with hair care, and then some other braiders as well, so they can kind of talk about, you know, how they give their services, the prices, how they get the hair, where they order, stuff like that. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate your time so much. It was rough. It was rough. We went through a rough patch. It's raining. Couldn't get the lock open. Shout out to Yachi. I'm sorry, I couldn't get the lock open. We tried. So, raining, but we did it, and that wraps our, oh my gosh, third episode of Black Sesame. Once again, your one-stop shop for all things Black in Taiwan. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.